Hi folks, Gabor here, and it's a really huge contrast between how I feel now and how I was feeling yesterday, because yesterday I was empathizing very much with the Ukrainian refugees, and those feelings are still there and I still empathize with them. And still I feel that now the world has calmed down a bit, so people start to realize, or at least thinking about this whole situation in Ukraine, that is not going to kill us. Maybe it's not going to lead to the Third World War, or at least not now. And I feel that things are a bit calmer than yesterday or a few days ago. And that left me with cringe, because the hysteria, hypocrisy, and the arrogance that we are dealing with things is just disgusting for me. And by we, I mean the Western world. And for sake of simplicity, I would just assume that our countries in Middle Europe belong to the Western world. And yeah, it's also, as a brackets, it's interesting to observe that how pissed off we were with licking Russian asses, being forced to lick Russian asses 30 years ago, and now how happy we are lining up to lick Western asses because they throw some fucking dollars at us. And that's nice, of course, but what is the fucking price that we are paying? Because we don't get that money for free. I don't even believe that. So the thing is that, whenever something comes up in the world, the Western world looks at it, okay, I like it, I embrace it, I probably call it mine, like I like it, it's mine. And then if somebody resists, what happens? They will get bombed back to Stone Age. And we convince ourselves that this is the best for everybody, for the whole world. Like no matter how many people die, no matter, like how many countries we leave devastated, somehow we convince ourselves that it's the best for everybody. Great. Like we start with huge hysteria, like, what happened, why, like this, and then we just in a reactive mode. Yeah, like that's what I say, like throwing bombs at it. Like we don't like it, hysteria, blah! Handling everything with brute force. And I just, I wanted to say that people don't see it. And it's just stupid because people see it. It's just either people opt out from this world, they are not participating on it, or they are being silent, and there is a really vocal, sizable minority in our countries that just they control the narrative, the public narrative, and they have the emotional control of a 3-year-old, pretty much. Like, oh, now I'm hungry. Now I'm upset. Now I'm angry. Now I'm happy. Da, 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 da. And this is what happens in the media, in the mainstream media, on Instagram, on Facebook, da, 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 da. Like, people are constantly like me right now. Cringe, emotional, and it's okay to be emotional, but to make decisive decisions based on cringe and fear, like existential fear all the time, is just fucking stupid. There should be no long-term strategy based on superficial feelings. And we don't seem to really have a strategy. The only strategy that we have is that we don't like something, we bomb the shit out of it. We bomb countries back to Stone Age. And then we shrug our shoulders if there is collateral damage, meaning a lot of civilians dead. And then we have the audacity to blame Russia for the same thing. Because, fair enough, Russia is evil, but don't have any fucking opinions that sees the world that there is Russia, bad, 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 and there is us, the power of good, the power of greatness, the power of pure light and wisdom, and we need to defeat evil. No. The conflict between the West and the East, or Russia and United States and their allies, is a conflict between two evils, period. We do the same fucking things. If anything, Russia copies what we are doing in the world. Because, like Russia goes there and observes. For example, what happens in Kosovo? Oh, we created a country, a completely new country. And then Russia says, okay, so I'm creating my own countries too. And then the Western world says, no, 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 this was just a one-time thing. It's allowed for us. It's not allowed for you. And then the same thing with, for example, how the United States handles South America, because that's their field of interest, Monroe Doctrine and everything. Whatever happens is in America is just the business of the US. Everybody else fucks off. Now Russia says, okay, so whatever happens in Ukraine is my business, because Ukraine is my sphere of interest. And the Western world comes, no, 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 no. It's allowed for us, not allowed for you. And it's not just only Russia. All the rest of the world sees what is happening, how hypocritical we are, and they try to do the same. And when we don't allow them, saying quod licet Jovi, non licet bovi, that is Latin for what is allowed to Jupiter, not allowed to the little ox. If we are using these double standards, we are going to run out of allies. And, like we have this illusion that, what the fuck is this? Oh, here. So because we are right, of course, because we are and we are this like divine power of eternal light or whatever, because we have this moral superiority, whatever we do in the world is awesome, is amazing, and should be not questioned. Well, if you question it, see what happens. And, other countries don't like this in the world. And okay, maybe it seems to be now that Russia doesn't have any allies, because that's what we want to see, and that's what other countries make us believe. Well, I'm not sure about, the allegiance of India or China, maybe Brazil, other powers that are coming up, that they actually agree with us. So because of this, they might already opting out from this world, from the system that we are in. Financial systems, political systems, maybe they are already looking for alternatives. Maybe, and I wouldn't be surprised, because what we do in the world is fogged up. And when I say these things to people, normally how they react is that, it's still better than Russia. Great. Yeah, that's just fantastic. Like Ted Bundy killed 30 people, at least. So I can kill at least one or 15, right? I'm still not as bad as Ted Bundy. How fucked up way of thinking is this? It's totally fucked up to the core. And if we don't change this, and I feel this right 100%, that if we don't fucking change this, we will see from one day to the next, our world collapse, the whole Western world collapse, and we will have no idea where the fuck it came from. But the signs were there the whole time, for decades, and we chose to ignore it. And we are ignoring it to our own peril. Because if we continue like this, with hypocrisy, with hysteria, with having no long-term strategy, we're gonna be fucked, and pretty soon. That's how I think about it. Enough cringe for today. I'm out. Ciao.